Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Class Action Megapark. I think I've already filled around 1/4 of the map by now, and I'd say the pirate area is pretty much complete. Well, at least in the sense of the amount of rides that have been placed here. I don't think I could really fit any more rides here in a nice way. So yeah, I will just call the pirate area complete. Now it does need a little bit of extra decoration here on the sides, but that'll be something for later. In this episode I want to focus on a new area which I'm going to build over here, which will be the swamp area. So yeah, just like the pirate area, it will have quite a bit of water, but it will not be very bright. Instead it will be quite dark water. It will be quite overgrown with plants and yeah, it will be kind of like the swamp area in my previous mega park, but of course with more dangerous and silly rides. Now, first I will start on turning this area here into a swamp. So I will make several islands, connect them with bridges, and I'll just put lots of plants around them, and I'll try to connect this area to the haunted mansion area over here. Okay, while I was building this, the cannonball loop ride actually crashed. Not really sure what caused it, but it's probably some negative G-forces, since not all of the track is covered here. So yeah, I'm just going to look into this. Probably I can modify this track a little bit to fix it. Annoying thing is that if you edit the ride, any rotated entrances or exits disappear. So I'm just going to close the ride, rotate the entrance before I do that, and then it should stay in place. The annoying thing about placing entrances and exits is that it will sometimes ignore clearance checks. Or maybe previous time I did that, I just didn't have them set. Anyway, better safe than sorry. Alright, I already see what the problem is. It's actually these track pieces. Yeah, as you can see, these two track pieces are not covered, and when the boats travel over them really fast, there is actually some negative G-force here, which may lead the boats to leave the track. Now, I know it's Class Action Megapark. People can die in this park. But yeah, I'd rather just have the rides look dangerous rather than actually have them crash in my park. It'll also be quite annoying for the viewer to see a lot of crash messages while they're viewing the park. Although, I have to admit, it would add to the experience. Anyway, just going to change these two track pieces to covered track pieces. And then the ride should no longer crash. Okay, when you have a themed area, you definitely don't want it to look like... basically what you don't want is to have a path that goes on the edge of the themed area. For example, here you have a dirt path. Let's say we would have a mine themed area here. And for example, over here would be a desert themed area or a beach themed area. Something, I don't know, just to name something silly. You definitely don't want to have a path that goes like this, because when guests are walking this path on one side, they'll be looking at this beach And on the other side, they would be looking at the mine, and it would be quite a strange experience. So basically, when you have a themed area, you'll want to immediately immerse guests in it. So when they walk on this path, they will be in the mine area, and when they walk on this path, they will be in a differently themed area. Also, when you connect themed areas to each other, you should probably just do it with a path that really goes on a 90-degree angle with the edge of the themed area. And then here you could, for example, put some walls or some other decorations, a row of trees. I don't know, just something to make a real distinction between the themed areas. So basically, also what I'm doing over here, for example, the guests go through this gate here, and immediately they're immersed in the pirate theme. Then here, there's the spooky area. Also try to make a bit of a gate here. Maybe I'll also make some pirate decorations over here later. But yeah, that's how I will separate these themed areas from each other. So that's also why I'm over here. I'm going to make probably some custom trees, just to immediately make it clear to the guests that they're entering a swamp or overgrown area. Okay, I've made a little start here on getting an idea of what I want the swamp to look like. So just burying a lot of these trees, also putting a lot of these gardens around just to make it overgrown, also spreading them over the water a little bit. And something I also like to do is put some of these alligator-shaped trees in between to actually act as actual alligators that are swimming here in the swamp. Okay, in this area I want to make a few buildings, just like I did over here. So there will be some shops and some stalls over here. Just to give guests a chance to eat some food in the style of this area. So I'll probably have some seafood stalls over here. Maybe also a witch brew shop. Just some weird stuff like that. Anyway, I'll start on the buildings later. I kind of want to make a new ride here. And the ride that I want to make here will be a water coaster. So I will just first get started on the layout. I wanted to travel over and under these paths a few times. And then when that layout is done, I will start on the station for the ride. And after that, I'll make some buildings in this area. Now, as for the water coaster, it will be one of those Intamin style water coasters. So it will have a big vertical tower, kind of like the one that I also made in my Mega Park. Alright, here's my water coaster. Now, as you can see, the ghosts leave the station here, go over this little bit of water, And here I'll make one of these towers with a vertical lift. And then over here there's a steep drop down. Then the guests have the first water splash. Well, they may need to hold their breath for a bit, maybe not scream too much. And then here there's a bit of a twisty section before it does its second water splash. Again, I recommend for the guests to actually close their mouth to not let too much water get in. And finally, here's the final water splash. Probably the most boring one. Yeah, I have some landscaping to do here to actually make some bridges here over the track. And I also want to make a second layer of track under it to make these tracks look a little bit more sturdy. So I'll probably put some wooden coaster track under it. Alright, I've tried to make this tower fit into this landscape a little bit more. So that's why I made some branches on it and also put some plants on top. Just to make it look like some sort of tree. I think that looks pretty cool. Now I also tried to hide some of these supports of these branches. Now for that I like to use these clocks. So you simply place a clock under it and then move the clock underground. Classic trick. Now here's something you may actually not know about these clocks, but they will actually display your computer time. So that's definitely something you should try out sometime. If you change your computer time, you will see also that the time on these clocks change. Alright, I've now created the station for the coaster. Now, I tried to make it a really irregular building, kind of like it has just been clumped together here. Also, I put some of these plants and on top, and also some of these bushes. Mostly just to try and give it a nice and overgrown look. I think it fits quite well here in the swamp area. Something which I will still do is put some black pots on top of these Q pots. I like them better when they're black. These Q colors clash a bit with how this area looks. Okay, something which I will also still do is make a nice little bridge here and one over here as well. And I'll leave the buildings for this area for a later episode. Alright, I think that's enough building on the swamp area for now. I'm really happy with how this water coaster turned out. I think it looks pretty nice. Some nice interaction with these bridges as well. May have to remove some of the supports here for the bridges, so the boats actually make it through. They're probably underground, so that's why the supports throw right through it. Yeah, I think it's time for me to add a patron to the park. And we actually got a new patron yesterday, and his name is Husky101. So he will be walking around in this new area. Alright, Husky101, I really hope you enjoy your spot in the park, and thanks a lot for the support. I really appreciate it. You can find yourself walking around this area over here. Alright, that was enough building from me for this episode. I will close off this episode with a ride on this new coaster. I called it Swamp Splashdown. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button. It will really help out my channel. Hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.